Hi everyone, Zarina here, aka Woolly Nomad, and we are continuing today with our rainbow chunky mitt, and we're using a kind of chunky super bulky yarn for this, so you can use any super bulky chunky yarn. This is the yarn, something like that. Anyway, I talked about it in the previous episode and in the one before that. So in the previous episode we did the cast on and we did the rib, and then I have gone ahead and done the next part of the pattern, which is for a medium-sized glove or mitt. It's 7 rows, so I've gone ahead and I've done 7 rows, but prior to the 7 rows actually there is an increase here. So once you've knit up your rib, you're going to increase here by 2 stitches. Then you're going to knit up the 7 rows. So that's what I've done. Right, so hope that's clear. Well, you know what, I thought if I do all that on camera it's going to take ages, so I might as well just do that, and then, you know, and then we can just start on the thumb gusset / gore. So funny words, aren't they? Gusset and gore, but that's what they are, so can't get away from them. So to start off with, we're going to place some stitch markers, and we just need 2 really. One of them is going to go at the beginning of the row, and that will live on the right hand needle and will be slipped back onto the right hand needle when it's on the left hand needle. The second one is on the after the 3rd stitch. So I'm going to start by knitting 1 stitch, and then just to let you know that that 1st stitch and that 3rd stitch will always be knit stitches, and the stitches will be made just after that 1st stitch and just before that last stitch. So I start off by picking up the bar and popping it onto the needle, and I'm going to knit into the back of that stitch, and that is the first make 1 left stitch, and then we knit 1 stitch, and then we pick up the bar again, but not like we did before. We're going to pick it up the other way round from the back, and then we're going to knit into the front of that stitch, and that's a little bit tricky, but you know, you will get the hang of it. The idea is to loosen it up a little bit and then knit into it. There you go. And then you knit the last stitch, and then you slip your marker, and voila. Yep, 3, 4, 5. And again, we're just going to knit until we get back to the beginning. Right, I'm back at the beginning of the row, and I've slipped my stitch marker. So the first stitch we're going to just knit. And now we're going to make 1. So your needle goes in from the front. The left needle, that is. And then you knit into the back like so. Flick your yarn round, pull it out. There you go. Then we're going to knit until we have 1 stitch before the stitch marker. So it doesn't matter how many stitches are here, you always knit to 1 stitch before the stitch marker, because obviously this is going to get bigger. Right, now this is where we're going to make our next stitch before that stitch, and this time the needle goes in from the back, and you're going to make your stitch from the front here, but you need to loosen it up. Like I said, a bit tight. There you go, made a stitch. There. 2, 4, 6, 7. So we've got 7 now. And as you can see, oop, wire's in the way. Anyway, right, slip your marker and then carry on knitting. And I'll be back like the Terminator Or not quite like the Terminator, because I won't be destroying things, I'll be making things. So I'll be back here when we're going to increase again. So this row, we're going to knit up to here, then we're going to do just a plain row, and then we're going to increase again. So one increase row, one plain row. That's the way we're going. My little thingy keeps on coming loose. Yeah, there we go. I could use a pin in that actually, and that will tighten it. So I've got to find a pin. Right. Right, so I knit the rest of that row, and then I knit the plain row, and I'm back at the beginning, and already, yeah, you can see a little thumb coming out. Yep, indeedy. Right, okay, so that goes in, that comes out, and there we go. So this is another make row, make two. So we're going to make one here, not all together, one at a time. Right, so yeah, so I've picked up the bar, I've popped it on the needle. And there you go, made the stitch. And then I've got to knit until I get to one stitch before the stitch marker. There we go, there's the stitch marker, and the bar is here in between, and then no, it doesn't go on that way, it goes on that way round. Pull it out a bit to make it loose, and then knit that last stitch, last thumb gusset stitch that is. There we go. And I'm going to knit the rest of that row. So I'm now going to come back when I've got 11 stitches here. Oh, it's exciting, isn't it? And the reason it's called a gore, because it goes outwards, see? There you go. Right, so I've kind of finished increasing for the thumb gusset slash gore now. I've got 11 stitches here between the stitch markers. That one's fallen off. Just pop it back on just to show you. So I've got 11 stitches here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Now I'm going to place those 11 stitches onto a holder. So you can use like a knitting needle, another pair, or circulars if you want. That can be your holder, or you can actually use some sort of proper holder thingy, and that's what I've got here. I don't know what it's called. It must be called a holder. But what it's got is it's got a little thing so that it doesn't fall out, the knitting doesn't fall out. It's not that great actually, but you know, it does its job, I think. And all you do is you just, you know, use it as a needle. They send use as a needle. And you just take off those stitches like so. Make sure you've got 11 there, and then there it is, it's done it there. Now it's a bit stiff because of the nature of this. I usually find this sort of thing better because of the cord. The cord is soft, so it will just hang nicely. But that's an option. You can do that, and I suppose you can do that. Make it hang a bit. Right, now we are going to do the mitt body next, but we'll do that in the next episode, I think. So we've got our thumb sorted. That's done. The end of the thumb, though, the increasing and decreasing, knitting up and decreasing. I'll go over that later. Probably in the next episode. Or maybe the one after. We'll see. See how long the next one takes. Right. So what have we done today? Let's just recap so we know. So previously, in the last episode, we did the cast on and the rib. Today, we've done the increase by 2 evenly across one of the rows after the rib, then knit 7 rows, then increase for the thumb. So we've done all that, we've put our stitches onto a holding needle, and now we're ready to do the mitt body, which we'll do in the next episode, like I said. Right, anyway, I hope that's helpful, and pattern is linked down below. See you next time.